All things new. Well, it has been a journey. We are at the end of a 3-month study on death. It would have been very depressing if it was just death, though. It's important to understand the context around death, because only then we can see the real light and hope. Death is a result of our disconnect from God, from our Creator, from the only one who can sustain our life. Without Him, there is just degradation and non existence. Through the study, we followed the development of the saga with sin and looked at what the Bible reveals about it. We found hope in the grace and sacrifice of Jesus, His victory over death, and the final resolution when the controversy started by Satan will be put to final rest, when justice will be restored and we will be redeemed. This week, we conclude the journey with a look at what the future with no death is like. What the future with no death is like? How can we even imagine? It's ridiculous. For some, it's ridiculous because it's naive, a way to exploit our suffering with a promise of imaginary future. But for others, it's ridiculous because it's impossible to imagine something so much bigger than our limited experience in time and space. We can go and dream about it, we can come up with crazy theories, but if we trust and choose the Bible as foundation of our understanding and hope, we should look at what it says about it. And the Bible has no intention to explain the logistic of a reality that we have no capacity to understand, but it gives us some information relevant to our experience. When we try to create models about how it all works, we are just silly. For example, some can't imagine how the limitation of the physical world can transcend into this hoped-for future, so they decide that everything will be just spiritual or different form, but can be physical. Or we can read some specific descriptions in the Bible, like John saying that there will be no sea in the new world, for example, and conclude about its physical water balance. When John talks about not seeing a sea in what was revealed to him about the new world, it's in the context of his personal experience where he is a prisoner on an island and the sea surrounding him is what keeps him captive. We need to accept the limitations of our understanding and appreciate the glimpse we are offered with humility and openness to what God reveals through it to us. The promise of the Bible is about the new heaven and new earth. What we have is damaged by sin. God's promise is for restoration, spiritually and physically. We can dream about it, imagine how different it will be, and it's good to do that. In this world, we can see tremendous beauty and how sophisticated everything is created, but it was hijacked and corrupted. God will make it new. We also read about a temple, sanctuary of God in the New Jerusalem. What does it exactly mean? We will find out one day. But what we know now, it's what a sanctuary is about in the plan of salvation. Jesus' sacrifice for us and our dependence on Him. This dependence and recognition of God as our sustainer and redeemer is in the core of the new world. One thing that we doubted but learned painfully through the experience of sin is what the absence of God can do. God's presence will be the most enjoyable experience then. The awesome thing about it also is that we can have a taste of it even now when we let God in our hearts. But nothing can compare to meeting Him face to face, of course. We may not be able to imagine things that we have not seen, but we can very well understand things that we dread. And the message is clear. No more death and tears. No more suffering. The lesson at the end talks about God's name on our foreheads. And it does sound weird. But in the language of the Bible, this is about belonging and ownership. We know what it is to be slave and owned by Satan, but these chains are broken and freedom is found in the liberation from our condemnation. We're free because God paid the price. His righteousness covers us. We are His. So, how can I summarize this lesson in the length of one tweet? Hashtag lesson in one. All things new. When sin is done with, in the presence of God, redeemed and sustained by Him, belonging to Him, with no more death and tears, in a world and reality we can't even imagine, will be joy and life as intended. Thank you for sharing this journey with us. Next week we will start a new study entitled Managing for the Master till He comes.